Welcome. In this fourth video in my Celebrating Myself series, I'll be celebrating my only collection of poetry, Parade of Incarnations. If you'd like to know why I'm devoting an entire video series to celebrating myself, watch the first video, Celebrating Locally, to find out those very good and worth finding out about reasons. So, what do I have to say about my Parade of Incarnations? I've never been that confident with my poetry. There are too many poems out there that show me my limitations. Poems that make me wonder, how did they manage that? It's a similar feeling to when I watch somebody play the guitar well. I've barely touched poetry in recent years, but it was a rewarding experience to rediscover a bout of poetry writing from my late 20s and be reminded that I've always had a sincere attitude to existence and enough focus to always be looking for the best questions I can find at the time. I remember how unsure of himself was the young man who wrote the poems, and I want to send a reassuring hand back through time to pat him on the back and say, "Give yourself a break, lad. You've done fine. You've done fine. Allow yourself some credit. I'm glad to have been you." It's sad, but one of our most difficult tasks is relearning how to extend some common compassion to our own self. I'll read you the blurb from the cover, and then I'll read you a couple of poems, Double-Edged Sword and Parade of Incarnations. See the description for a free download of this collection of 34 poems as a PDF and a link to a priced paperback. Thank you. Hope to see you next time. My definitions. By my definition, there is no such thing as bad art, only art that industry does not wish to sell or curate. Art is defined by me with 3 words: creative self-expression. And there is nothing that is not art. I was reorganizing my flat recently and uncovered a big old red notebook containing nothing but the splurge of poetry that dribbled sporadically from me over the course of a few years back in my 20s, in my 50s now. And I wasn't prepared for the effect reading them would have on me now. We can tend towards dismissing the past as soon to be forgotten. It's a big mistake. My younger self was disappointed by his own poetry. Disappointed by his own poetry. Who amongst us is not disappointed by their own poetry? But my younger self was not so bad as he judged, and neither were you so bad as you have judged. Must be one of those universal things. There is no such thing as bad art, bad creative self-expression. Once that is understood at the emotional level, inhibition is no longer meaningful. Therefore, I may unleash the poetry of my younger self, who I am glad to champion, into the public domain with impunity. Hello there, my younger self. I wave to you across time. I'm the one who loves you. It was us all along. Thank you for the poems, my darling. The double-edged sword. Do not hate yourself for the keenness of your feelings. If your will seems weak, isn't it that your feelings are strong? If your feelings seem weak, isn't it that your will is strong? You wield the life that pierces you. Do not hate your weaknesses. Without them, how would you be the valiant warrior that you are? You are noble and heroic. Your life is fraught. Tipped over the crazy abyss, you scream your defiance. Lusty and fell you are, of an unspeakable nature. You shine, your teeth bite. Your fragility cradles your might. Do not fight. Do not fight. Hiss. Do not hate your weakness. It tempers you like water tempers steel, lest you burn the world. Parade of Incarnations. I whistle down this parade of incarnations, saluting it as a long and strange journey as I go, and sense it will be over in the twinkle of an eye. I can almost hear myself now, bidding it a whispered goodbye. As I move outward and onward, my momentum strong. Will I look back after it has twinkled and still see that star shine there? Will I think of return to that grain in my night sky for nostalgia's aching smile? Will it be lost while it rides inside me, long and strange and very small, whirled away in my infinity, long ago, if ever at all? Will I miss this ancient journey down these lifetimes of guileless design, tormenting, needing, pulling me, yet I love it fondly, it is mine. As the sunbeam knows its future in the blackness of the void, I leave a star behind me while carrying it on inside. Expanded, sheer, enlivened, alive, awakened in God's mind, on a wider and stranger journey, as large as life I fly. And one day am bound to discover a grain adrift in my night sky, a parade that seems familiar as a twinkle in my eye.